So welcome. Yeah, don't be too nervous. Just yes, and into there. Okay, introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, I'm Curtis Graham.
Hi, I'm Diana Lynn Androni.
Okay, and voice real work. Go.
So I found work that we did in the second year and with our tutor about professionalism and being the professional you really helped me work as an individual in the studio because I've got the prior knowledge of, which sounds like basics, but some people wouldn't do it. So like you've got to turn up, you've got to be prepared, you've got to be warmed up, you've got to be friendly and approachable, you've got to be someone that they would want to work with again. Because you might, for me personally, I didn't manage to get all of my stuff done in the first 1 hour. So it's like if I was someone who they wouldn't want to work with again, they'd just be like,
No, never.
yeah, no.
I think I also, like, from all of the 3 years accumulated with this, even though we're more based on acting, all the techniques that we learned, it really helped, with the breathing and getting yourself in the character and everything.
Yeah.
Even though it's a voice role, nobody can see you. In a way, I did feel more free, to experiment little stuff here and there, because nobody can see you. So even if you do a gesture that it doesn't go with what you're saying, it's fine, as long as it's the people can hear you fine, and
It felt more like a safe environment, didn't it? Because it felt more like you had the ability to do what you wanted without really being judged.
Yeah, because nobody can see you, and then if you have the character inside of your voice, it's fine.
Yeah, and I've got a little quote from, he's an author called James Clear, and talking about working effectively as an individual and professionally, he says, "The ability to show up every day, stick to the schedule, and do the work, especially when you don't feel like it, is so valuable that it's literally all you need to become better 99% of the time."
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It was even if you weren't comfortable in that situation, we were made to go do.
Yeah.
That situation, we were made to go record with people, and for me, I produced work that I didn't think I'd really be capable of, because I personally have like confidence issues a bit like with that, but like I said, like the whole safety thing of being in a studio where there's like
nobody judges you.
Yeah, got 3 technicians in front of you who were just having a fun time with you. It just felt really fun.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I didn't do, and I should have done it, I didn't learn the script off by heart. That was one of the challenges. Like, I knew it, I was comfortable with it, I was familiar with it, but I didn't know it all by heart. And I think that brought me down a little bit with the characterization and all that. I found this quote on Backstage. The thing was called How to Learn Your Lines Without Memorizing It, and it says, "Disconnections between the lines or the thought bridges are what we think before we speak. Ignore them and you ignore why we say what we say. Actors learning lines or having difficult finding the characters you're playing should try to live in the bridges. What mental steps do you take to get from one line to the next? What happens between the lines? The journey is more interesting than the story of the destination." And I thought that, that was quite linking to me, because it kind of stopped me from exploring as I should have done it. If I would have known, the whole script by itself.
Yeah.
Like, I could have put it down, and do it, but I would be scared. You can hear in my voice that I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's fully immersing yourself in the characters, and like knowing what they would say.
Yeah,
next, and just because of their thought patterns. Yeah, for me, the thing that I found challenging was in my first couple of recordings, it didn't quite sound right, and I was like, I've been warming up. I've done all the work, I've learnt the scripts and stuff like that, and then I realised it was like emotional intensity in it. I'd done everything, but because it wasn't stage or screen, I hadn't thought about characters' journeys and objectives and things like that. So
you don't expect to do that, do you?
Yeah, so it's like John Gillett, who wrote a book, he said, the most important thing is not the actions themselves, but the emergence of natural impulses towards them. And that's something I completely forgot, because I had the lines, and I was like, there are the lines, and I forgot that for me doing narration, these are characters, and these are people that have objectives and they want to achieve something.
Yeah, with this, because again, like you said, I didn't know my lines as properly.
Yeah.
My articulation and diction just went downhill. My breath, you can hear it in my breath. And that was something that put me down, because, English is not my first language. So when it came to this, I knew that I had to be articulating very good, because nobody can see me. Even if I gesture something on stage, they'll be like, oh, so that's what she means.
Yeah.
But when they don't see it, they only hear to your voice, they're like, wait, what did she say? So I found this article, The Power of Your Speaking Voice, How Good Your Diction Helps. And it says, speaking clearly improves the sound of your voice, giving you a more successful vocal image. As you speak with confidence and credibility, you make a lasting and positive impression that forms trust. And it forms image, I assume, you know? Your voice can, you know, open imaginations.
So voice work, really, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And working practice in the studio, and how's it organised? I realised because I've been not in a studio, I've been on the opposite side of it though, because I've done professional sound work. I've been with touring companies and stuff like that, and worked as a sound technician on them. So I've seen it from the both sides, and to be on the other side here, it was nice because as a performer, your biggest worry is things like showing up on time and making sure you stick to the schedule and you say the words.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the technicians are there to help it sound good and put all the effects and stuff like that. They're the technical support, and you're the artistic license in it. And like the whole thing of time is money and stuff, you know, everything must be working together. Everything must be set up, you must be prepared and they must be prepared together. It's not like...
Professionally.
Yeah. And everyone was like in charge of different things, so you yourself in the studio, so it's like that argument of, are you in charge, is the technician in charge, and it's you're both in charge, but of yourself, so you're in charge of making yourself sound good, learning
the script and
know
what you're doing basically.
Yeah, you've got to bring this character to life, and they're in charge of making it technically sound well and make sure that there's no feedback or noise in the background and stuff like that. So, and another quote I got from it, it's a director called Henry Selick, and he says, there's this intense pleasure you get from working with all these really talented people and pooling efforts towards a common goal. And that's what it is that you each in that studio, you have one common goal, which is to make this piece of work that sounds well. And for the technicians, they want it to sound technically well, you know, they want their work to sound good, and you want to sound...
It's like promoting yourself, you know, you don't want to give a bad image to yourself.
Exactly, in any part of it.
I mean, when I did mine, you know, for the first couple of trials, obviously the first takes was a bit icky, but then after, I remember I was doing my first one, and we did like 3 takes on it, and the third one was the best one. But the thing is, he forgot to press record. So, you know, as a professional actor, I had to be, you know, mature and professional and, you know, overcome the fear of, you know, just communicate, you know. And I think it's really important to communicate with other people, you know, because obviously he said sorry and everything, but, you know, inside of me I was like, you know, it's not fair on me because I tried and then this is the it. And you know, sometimes in performances, you can only take like, you have like 100 rehearsals and you only take 1 rehearsal that you nailed it. And I think that was the thing, and then after I kind of lost my confidence in it, and I was like, okay, but I just have to do it, you know. I just have to go with it, and then it didn't make it awkward. I thought it was going to make it awkward, but it didn't. I have this quote from Communications in the Drama. Communication might be the most important 21st century skill students can learn in the drama classrooms. We communicate with each other in the real world every day in a variety of ways, verbal, non-verbal, physical. We often have to navigate the minefield of mixed messages of people who refuse to listen. I don't necessarily think, you know, he did it on purpose or God forbid, you know, but it can affect me and him at the same time because it can put him into a little panic mood, like, oh my God, I did that wrong. But then we just overstepped it, you know, we just did it again and again, and then after doing it a couple of times, I nailed it. I like the way it sounded, you know?
I had, in the studio itself, I didn't have any technical issue. Well, as I arrived at the beginning, the mic wasn't working, but they were really quick to get in and sort it out, and it was literally like a matter of minutes, and then they were like, so you can go up and record, and I was like, oh wow, I thought that was going to take ages, and during the process it was all great. So like you said, the communication was fine. Important. So like there was times when I'd do something and then they'd be like, they themselves would be like, it didn't sound quite right, not in an artistic way, but stuff like, you need to step back from the mic at this bit and stuff like that. And then as I listened back, obviously the communication of, can we do that bit again and stuff like that, and that worked when they gave me back the final product, and everything that we'd said to each other had been cut.
Of
So we took,
progress.
so we'd taken bits from each different recording that
Yeah.
were best, and we talked about it and stuff like that.
Do you know, when I was doing mine as well, because I was scared, you know, I did use a mic before, I did have a bit of experience here and there, nothing professional, you know.
Yeah.
So when I was doing my first ones, he was like, can you speak louder, can you speak louder? And I was just scared that, because I could hear myself, you know. And I was like, okay, I'm scared I'm shouting too much. And then indeed, in one of the recordings, you can hear that I'm trying to speak loud, when
Right.
I could just come a bit closer to the
Yeah.
mic. I knew all of this stuff, you know, but it's just on the moment
Scared
of
to
panic,
step
I was
to it,
like,
right.
I'm scared to, you know, disrespect your equipment and to break something and
Yeah.
to disrespect you, you know. So I think, you know, now if I will ever do it again, I'll know what to do. You know, it was
Yeah.
a good experience, and then I think I will feedback from this, and I will know how to be a bit more open, because I think I was a bit shy, which is weird, but I was a bit shy.
No, it is. It's a daunting thing, isn't it? To be stood in front of all this equipment that
You never used.
Yeah,
or you don't work with.
you're not used to really,
Yeah.
like, and it's like any other thing. So it's like the first time you go in front of an audience, you know, you just need you need the confidence to be there and the confidence to go, well, you know, it's not as bad as I thought. I'm not gonna die.
Yeah. Just overcome your
Yeah.
own fears.
And it's like again, like Argyle, who is a psychologist, was saying about self-worth, and the way that others react to us determines the way that we perceive
Yeah.
a situation. And I think, again, the way that the technicians were was really helpful for me to get over the fact it was a really
Yeah.
daunting process, and really get comfortable, and then be able to use my acting techniques to make something. Because at first, on that first take, you know, when before you've really spoken to them as well, and
Yeah.
like I was kind of in the mic and I was like,
Yeah.
and then they were like, it's fine, just relax, and we had a little bit of a chat, and it was just, and then it became a
Easing
really,
it down.
yeah,
Yeah.
really smooth process, and that was their professionalism as well, you know, they were nice and approachable, and
Can we move on to
of course, yeah.
the third section? 'Cause
Yeah.
It's just because of time, sorry.
Yeah.
But you're doing really well, yeah.
The only thing that I think I should have done more of, I think, is just try to do the speeches and all that in a different way. Obviously at home I would rehearse it in different ways, I would record it on my phone. But when it came to it, I think I was a bit scared and a bit scared of the environment, and it was so professional, and I don't want to waste their time. I don't want them to be like, oh my gosh, you shit and all that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I could have explored it more, and I found this quote from Creativity, the Actor in Performance. And it says, the actors in performance focuses on what it takes to be a creative performer. Many stage actors succeed in rehearsals, yet under performance, where it counts, but as an actor known, performance is a thing unto itself. Something is going to have to happen out there beyond anything that happens in rehearsals, you know? So always expect the unexpected. But I
Yeah.
think I could have, you know, I could have done a bit more with it. I could have just pushed myself and be like, okay, you know what? Let me try this. You know, they would give me feedback a bit here and there because I would ask for them. You know, but like they said, the technicians, they're not actors. They don't know what to expect. They just record. But yeah.
Yeah. I took some. I took a lot of personal responsibility in the entire process. So like even like obviously down to the beginning of choosing pieces. So I chose pieces that I thought suited me and like suited my voice quality. Because I'm not as comfortable yet like doing different accents or different voices. So I was like, something that would really suit me is something like a narration style documentary where I can create characters but not have to be so completely different, like cartoon like. And I chose pieces as well that kind of challenged me. So there was like a piece I did where I was playing a woman in it.
Yeah.
I had to both, in my head I was like, I really need to make this character different because my voice, I feel like, is a bit of a roller coaster. My pitch, it goes up and down a lot. So I was like, so it's not just enough for me to like talk in higher pitch because that's not what creates a female voice, you know. So I had to try to resonate in different places, and the way that I found that was to do a different accent. So I did the woman as like a southern accent, a more like RP southern accent to make it a bit different to mine, and I found that really helped, and with characterization as well, like it helped me create this character.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, and I got personal feedback as well, so I was like playing this clip, and there was a girl who wasn't really listening to it, she was just like stood there, and then at the end she turned around and she was like, so who was the other person? And I was like, oh, that was me. Like, they were both me. And she was like, oh, right. So, you know, we had to arrange the time slots in the studios.
Oh, yeah.
We had to talk to the technicians ourselves. It wasn't a matter of they tell us what to do.
Yeah.
I had to approach them and be like, can we do this time? And there was a few times that we couldn't because we were working with, you know, my schedule, their schedule, the recording studio's schedule. So then I took it upon myself to record in a different way. So which was like a different environment as well. So I was in the big expensive recording studio with the mic, and then other times I was stood in like the little
one
cupboard with a MacBook in front of me and a tiny little like camera mic and stuff. That so that just gave me a different like perspective and a different like awareness and of the industry as well, because going into the industry, you're never going to be, well, not never, you're not always going to be in like £1,000 worth of equipment and a multi-million studio. Yeah, you've got to adapt your personal performance for the environment you're in, because you can't just think, oh, I'm just in this cupboard with a MacBook, so I'm going to bring my performance down, because you still want the same.
I think communication is the most important thing that you could have done. Like, apart from booking the room, which he did, I did everything, you know, like arranging dates and making sure that everything is fine. And luckily, he was very professional. He came a bit earlier. I came a bit earlier as well. And everything was on time. I finished before, you know, I was meant to be finishing. And I think the one thing that I really enjoyed is the fact that I did try different techniques beforehand anyway, you know, so I was quite a bit more free and in creating characters, you know, like, because I did an advert, you know, advert showreel, which I think I did try my best, but I think the only thing that I regret not doing is just try maybe not a sad one, but a more not funny one, because I think in my perspective all of them are quite funny, you know, but I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. Can you just wrap up by having a brief chat about your place in the market?
Yeah, of course. I found in more in modern days that my place in the market like 10 years ago probably would have been like, it's more of a niche thing of here's a northerner.
Yeah.
So he can play people from Yorkshire and do like a tea advert. Yeah. Whereas now because of like the impulse of like Media City in Manchester and stuff like that, like, and just more regular slots on regular media that people watch, that people of different accents like are becoming a more popular thing, and it's like the RP accent now is becoming a little bit of the niche and a bit of a I hear a lot now people going, that's not what British people sound like. And there was William Hall, who's a writer for the Financial Times, that stated that Manchester's media market is growing nearly to the size of London's.
Wow. So
for me personally, my place in the market has increased.
Opened, wide open. Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, like before I thought that, you know, in general an accent I don't really have a place because I have an accent, because I'm not English, and you know in theatre you normally see like, you know, RP accents and most probably English people. But now, like, you know, even if you look at TV, you know, most of the adverts do quite tend to have an accent. You know, even like if it's cars from Germany or like Italian flipping, you know, and I think I do have a place, especially in voice role, I mean in radio work, you know, because you do want to hear something different, because in England now, you don't find only one nationality, you find a variety of them. It's a more accurate representation of Britain to have all these different accents, because obviously we're very multicultural country, so just to have RP wouldn't be... I mean, you still hear it, you know, you're still there. Yeah. If you can do it, it's really good. But I think it broadens you up. But I think the more natural you are with your own accent, the better chances of you getting in the industry. You know? There's always going to be a market for what you can do. You just can't limit yourself because you don't do what other people do. Yeah.
We'll end it there. Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Here you go.